Because it's the milkiest, chocolatiest porter, something. I don't know. I've got beer. I've got brews, beer and brews. It's brews and beer. Beers for brews. It's another Wednesday night. I don't know why you're here. Why do you keep coming back to this shitty show? I don't know. Why are you fucking here? This is the worst live stream on the entire YouTube platform, but yet still you're here. So, all right, if you're here, then you're here. That's it. I guess I'll have to greet the chat because that's how that goes. So let's go ahead and do this. We've got JSK Enterprise, Eddie Nunez, Matthew Wickman. We have Artco Drone Solutions. We got Dogfighter. See, I have an iPad here and I'm just reading the names. We've got Pyro, Paul Feinberg. What are you doing in the chat, Paul? You get out of there, Paul. We've got Crypto Man. We've got Michael Matthews, Lee Bessing, Bob Casey, Jake's Drone Life, Chuck Ostrom, Matt Cundiff, Jackie Gann, and we got Zeppi, and there's a shit ton of other people in the house. Security has assured me that nobody can hijack the stream tonight because apparently that's been happening. That's been going around. People just randomly hijacking streams. I don't know how that happens. That's so weird. But it's going to be a great night. I see we got Troy from Richmond Aerials as well in the chat. It's a good night. I guess I'll do that thing. I guess I'll bring in producer Paul because, you know, he's sitting there waiting, white balanced correctly. And yeah, let's just bring in Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul.
What's up? I'm finally on. I know I'm white balanced and everything. I look great today, I think.
Look great, Paul. You look great.
My internet's still kicking it, I think.
I don't know, dude. You'll probably screw up somewhere during this evening. We got a lot to discuss tonight. We're talking Autel. We're going to talk about my battle with Twitter. Obviously, we got some sort of announcement.
I haven't got to hear the update on that. This will be interesting.
Oh, it's been a mess. I've got a rant. I swear, I've got a rant about social media just in general. But it's sort of a bane because it's. We'll talk about it. We'll get to that. We're going to talk about what we're drinking right now. Tonight's choice brew is Bell Cow. This is the J Dubs Brewing. This is a milk chocolate porter. It's
milk chocolate.
Yeah,
you and chocolate beers.
You know what it is? I have a sweet tooth. I'm probably diabetic, but this is really delicious. So I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it, Paul.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah,
oh wait, sorry, that's wrong.
No, that's
wrong
not.
beer.
This is Milk Cow, Paul. Just get your beers
Milk
correct.
Cow.
So, Paul, it's been 1 week since you've destroyed my drone, by the way.
It's been 1 week since you looked at. No, sorry. Sorry, go up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no. It's been 1 week since you destroyed my drone. And just an update. Some reason I'm hearing myself echo. Is that you, Paul? You got an echo? Why don't you turn that volume down, Paul? I hear myself echoing.
I don't hear an echo. Does anybody else hear an echo?
Don't ask that because that just turns into a shit show. Don't even ask that. I don't even want to.
You hear echo still?
No, I don't hear an echo anymore. It's gone now. Maybe it was just me. Maybe
it's all in your head.
What about now? Do you hear an echo, Paul? Is there an echo now?
No, I don't hear an echo. It sounds fine.
What about now? Is there still an echo, Paul? Does it sound weird?
Sounds maybe like you're trying to.
Am I trying to fuck with you, Paul? I'm just clicking all the buttons. I don't know.
That sounds really cool, actually.
Did that sound cool?
Yeah, it sounds like you're like in a fighter pilot jet. All right, producer Paul, we're gonna fire it off this drone right now. All right.
So that drone you wrecked, I put the new motors on there, and
it looked beautiful. I saw the pictures on
it looked amazing, and then it went on fire. Like literally, I plugged it in to reverse the motors, and it went on fire. I couldn't believe it. I was like befuddled.
So I really destroyed that bad boy.
I don't know. I don't know if it was you that destroyed it specifically, or if it was just a faulty. Holy fuck!
Thank you so much, Metro Drones.
Metro Drones with the $45 fucking super chat. What do we do for that, Paul?
China. I don't know.
Lots of casino, Paul, and then
China.
We're just gonna hit all the buttons, Paul. We're gonna do
whatever he wants.
All of them at once. All the fucking buttons at once. Holy shit, Metro Drones. Thank you. Congrats on the 45. Thank you. That was really cool of you, dude. I appreciate that. That was awesome. Yeah, so I don't know what to do with that drone. Right now it doesn't have telemetry. It's sort of semi-working. I flew it today in that video, and I found out that you can have an RC. You can have an RC call out your voltages. I never knew this until Crunk was talking to me. Art Code, thank you so much. I'm going to make a sound effect that says monkey or something, or like blackjack, like when you get a blackjack and have you ever played blackjack, Paul?
I am not a huge blackjack fan, but
so at the blackjack table when you're playing,
I would love to watch you. You'd be entertaining.
It's just casino culture is that you call face cards monkeys. That's what you're screaming monkey at the table, and it's just amazing. It's a good time. It
sounds very interesting.
Where you say paint me. That's another thing they say. I spent too much time at a blackjack table.
I haven't been to Vegas yet, so
not in a while. But anyways, I digress. So I'll see what's going on with that. But it flew great. I think the quad flew great despite all things. The motors are super strong. I'm really happy with those iFlight motors, even though I'm 90% sure the reason why the quad went on fire is because of a faulty motor right out of the box. I'll still recommend.
So it's not my fault, okay?
I don't think it's your fault. I think it's guilty by association because the quad was broken on your hands, but it's my fault for letting you fly it in a non-open field. So it's ultimately it was my fault.
We were almost there. We were just too lazy to walk to it.
You can buy me a drink this weekend because we get to hang out again this weekend, Paul. We're going to a water park.
I need to get some foot. Should I bring a GoPro?
We should bring some GoPros, Paul. We'll bring a GoPro. We're going to go down some fun water slides.
Are you allowed to go down the water slides with GoPros? I've never been.
I don't know. We'll just stuff them down our pants. Nobody's going to know. That's what I would do. I would just put it in my pocket.
Yeah. It's just that big, man.
We'll do that. We'll stuff it down the pants. Big Water UAV Solutions. Thank you so much for the 420 super chat.
You saw that before I did. I didn't even see it, man.
I know. I saw it because it was right down here. It was right here. I have this thing here. It's all fucking great. It's good.
No, my internet must be slagging because you said it and then it popped up.
Your internet is just a disaster. So let's go ahead and talk about the smart controller from Autel, because I know like people are going to get to the stream. They're going to they're not talking about the smart controller.
Oh dear. Eddie would be so sad.
He would. So let's talk about it, because I think, we've seen the price point. We're talking about $1,100. It's like an $11.99.
It's so steep. I don't know. I feel like it's steep.
We started getting emails for this thing from Autel at the beginning of the month. Actually, let me take that back. I started getting emails for the smart controller at the end of last month. They were going to give us information about it, and we were supposed to have it in our hands relatively quickly. the day came and went. The smart controller never ended up in any influencer's hands, and it's been well over a month's time. Now, I can't say that this is shocking because in typical Autel fashion, this is typically how their releases work, right? They announce a product, it comes with much fanfare and hype, and then it just never effing ships for months. It always ships, but the problem is the timeliness of their shipments has got to improve. It's got to improve. You can't debut a product and then have no inventory to ship that product. You know what I mean?
It's almost like Skydio.
Skydio's a little. I think Skydio is a little bit different in that regard. Skydio started shipping relatively quickly. They always told you that there was going to be a delay. They ran things in batches. They got hammered with COVID, right? So COVID really knocked their production back, But with Autel, we're past that point. Now, the only thing that's happening right now is there is a massive chip shortage. We see it with computer processors. We see it in almost every facet of a business that requires some sort of computer chip. There seems to be a shortage or a inflation in pricing. We see it with the DJI Vistas, the new Cadix Vistas, or not the Cadix Vistas. The Cadix Air units are $199. So for those new DJI Air units from Cadix, they're $199. They used to be $175, so now they're $199. So there's a premium to be paid there, and that's only because of this shortage. People are blaming it on crypto mining, but I don't think that's really it. I just think they can't keep up.
If it was crypto mining, it would only be GPUs.
Well, no, because materials needed to make GPUs are still reliant on other components. There's other things that still require those materials. So if those materials are being consumed by, let's say, GPU manufacturers,
I don't know. I feel like it's just inflation these days. I feel like everything is going up in price right now.
Yeah, I agree.
But we don't need to get into that kind of stuff.
No, I agree. There is some price increases here, but they brought out they announced this controller. It's $1,200, we'll call it. It's more than the DJI controller, right? Granted, it is more modern. It does.
You're right. They haven't updated the DJI one in years, so
they've updated this to be a little bit more future proof and all that great shit. It does have a better screen. It does look great, but the thing is, like, for me, like $1,200, it only connects to one drone. You know what I mean? And I say it's only connecting to one drone because we only have one Evo 2. So it's not like we have like an Evo 3 or like an Evo Mini or something like that. We don't have any of those things for this controller to connect to. So it's only connecting to one product because, again, that's really all they're selling. So I think it's a hard press. I think it's too much, too late. Like, this should have been something that they announced, with the Evo 2, I think. I don't think you announce it now. That should have been something that they announced with it. You know what I'm saying? Ben Markham with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. So I don't think they should have, brought that out at that price, or at least, timed it when it was available. I would be okay if they release things with the timing of availability. I think that, to me, is like my biggest conundrum with Autel is they'll announce something phenomenal and then it's just not available for an incredibly long period, and that's sort of disheartening for a lot of people.
It's like they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, but they really can't. I mean, their products are still way behind as well. Even the drones,
Yeah,
where DJI's released drone after drone after drone, and Autel's is still sitting on that one.
And it's not even about the releases; it's about how a product performs, how a product flies. And it's funny, is because I'll let an Evo pilot fly my Mavic or any one of my Mavics, and they've never flown a Mavic, right? And they'll fly it and they'll be like, holy shit, this thing performs differently. It flies differently. It responds differently. And all of a sudden now they get it. Like, okay, great. They don't have flight restrictions, but we're not always butting up against flight restrictions. I mean, sometimes we are, but not all the time. And when they fly it, I think a lot of times they get it. So there's a lot of refinements that Autel just doesn't have. I think one of the biggest mistakes that Autel made was they fired a vast majority of their team in Seattle. Obviously, COVID did not help, but they let a lot of key players that have been around since like the early X-Star days, since their very first release, they let them go. Like, people that really knew a lot about what was happening, they just let go. So I mean, that to me is a huge blow to them as a company in a sense.
For
So
sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's just, I mean, personally, like if somebody asked me, would you pay $1,200 for a smart controller? My answer would be no, with the caveat that unless if I'm a professional and I heavily rely on that, I'm not going to buy that smart controller. But with
Yeah.
that said, I also wouldn't buy the DJI Smart Controller today, right now. I always get asked, is the smart controller worth the price today? The DJI Smart Controller, and absolutely, it's not. It's not worth the price. And you know what kills me is like people are trying to um, talk about the smart controller like it's a great purchase in 2021. It's not a great purchase.
No,
It's not.
way outdated.
It's
That would
outdated at this point, and the fact is you can reset it, you can wipe the cache on it, and you can blow all the smoke you want up the smart controller's ass. At the end of the day, the processor is still underpowered. The screen brightness is 1000 nits of brightness. There is way faster solutions out there to circumvent this problem at a cheaper cost than to buy the smart controller. That
Yep.
I mean, I've witnessed these batteries as of recent. I've seen batteries explode on people charging. The charging times are horrendous. They've always been horrendous on the charge time. The screen is small. It's laggy at best, and it's not going to work well with the new protocols. It's just not. It's already been demonstrated that with the Air 2S that you're not going to get the same performance, and it's a noticeable disadvantage, at least to me, when flying that. People say, hey, I love it. Hey, great. You like it? Fucking great. But don't tell other people to buy that and waste their money on that. That's my thing. Don't buy that piece of shit.
So going back to that, why would somebody actually want to buy the smart controller for Autel?
I think, you know, again, it's going to be a commercial person, like somebody in the commercial aspect of things. I think that would be a good reason. Now, and then the other reason would be is if there was some different protocols and the radio was stronger, if the radio pushed out better dB to possibly capture a little bit more from the drone, then it would be a big deal. But my thought is this: why not fix your transmission signal all the way around? This is a perfect time to possibly push out a new product and push out a new control link entirely. There's so many different control links available. Push something new out and just call it a V2 or something. I mean, this is your time to shine. You know, don't
Right.
just put out a smart controller, push out something else. I mean, that would be my guess is I would do something like that, but they're definitely sort of holding back. I don't know if they're having problems with the current units or they just don't have enough to meet the demand. My guess is it's a problem with manufacturing and not so much the demand. I don't think Autel has a demand issue per se.
No. And what's interesting too is I know that it's still years out, but remote ID, I mean, the problem with Autel is they don't they typically leave their products on the shelves for a
Well,
significant longer time than DJI would. So
well, the other problem is we really haven't heard much more about remote ID. Like we don't understand what path the FAA is pursuing. So just as I suspected, you know, back when this was first announced, people are freaking out. We still got a good long ways before we really know from a hardware perspective what that's going to look like. They don't have anybody really producing any products. Now, with that being said, in September, commercial UAV is happening in Las Vegas. So a commercial UAV, usually we get a chance to see some of these prototype things. So I'll be out at commercial UAV and, you know, we'll hopefully get a good chance to see some of these things happening. I suspect it's going to be a huge show because we didn't have that show this year. I think it's going to be a bigger show in September because everybody's trying to make up for the entire screw up for 2020. So I think it's going to be a huge show. Commercial UAV is going to be awesome. Jake's Drone Life asks, is Autel not a drone company first? No, Autel is actually an automotive company. If you look up Autel, Autel is actually one of the leaders in scanners. So you have like Snap-on scanners, you have OTC scanners, and then you have Autel. Autel is probably one of the largest scanner companies for diagnostic equipment in the automotive
I did
world.
not know that.
Yeah, that's their parent company. That's their parent company is Autel. Autel actually does automotive. Their logo is slightly different. It's a little more flatter A, but it's still the same Autel. So, isn't Aeroscope a form of remote ID? Negative. Aeroscope has nothing to do with remote ID. I don't even think Aeroscope is actually approved for that use case. That's something they're using around airports, but that's not a remote identification.
Have influencers received one yet? We
No,
would not know.
Influencers have not received one. No.
If we did know, we probably wouldn't be able to say anything anyway.
No, there's no NDA on it. There's no NDA. If we had one, we could talk about it. I just don't think we would be able to show it. But we haven't received it, and I can tell you right now, I haven't received any stock at DroneWorks. We haven't seen anything with that whatsoever. Like nothing's come through. So as of right now, it's just we're in a holding pattern waiting for them to release it. So there's that. I'm trying to get down here into some of these questions. All right, so I think we answered Eric Hills. I'm just gonna scroll up here just a little bit. I want Autel to put out
Mini 3 when it comes out. What? That's who knows? That's going to kind of come out any soon.
We don't even know. We don't even know. Like, kills me. You know, I see a lot of these channels lately that are springing up, and all they do is talk about like leaks and products that are just not even
announced.
Yeah, they're not even a gleam in their daddy's eye right now.
It's like, hey, the A7 V is coming out.
No, it's not.
Wait, the A7 IV isn't even out yet. Sorry, I don't know.
But for me, this is what kills me with a lot of people is they're so hell bent on the next thing, they don't worry about what they already have. Like I say this over and over again: worry about the drone that you have, master that drone, and understand how to get the best possible content out of what you already have. If you can do that, and you can do that well, then worry about what could be coming down. If it's something that's going to better a better drone or slightly marginally better quad is not going to make you a better pilot. It's not going to deliver you better results. I mean, mastering your flight characteristics and, you know, understanding how to tame your footage in the editors, you know, whether you use Final Cut, DaVinci, or Premiere Pro, it doesn't matter, but understanding how to tame your footage, that's what makes you a better pilot all the way around the board. It gives you a very well-rounded approach. So when a new product does come out, well, then you're ready for it. Then you're ready for all those.
To suggest a product, wait on a product for anything, whether it's
I see it all the time
or anything.
But like I see it all the time.
You gotta master it. You gotta master it first before you even.
But, you know, I see it every single time. You know, there's a new product. Like for prime example, Air 2S rolls out. About 15 comments I counted. It was, I'm going to wait for the Mavic 3. Well, here's my advice. Good fucking luck, because you don't have any idea when that's coming out. So good fucking luck. While you're waiting and sitting on the palms of your hands, you know, and you're feeling your sweaty ass and touching your sweaty butthole, I'm sitting there flying. I'm flying, protecting my skills, perfecting. I'm going to have another beer.
Yeah, I mean, people were saying that about the A7 S3 for how many years? Three years or so.
Yeah,
and if
3.5, 4 years, man.
Good thing you weren't one of the people like, hey, I'm gonna wait for the A7 S3. Hey, I'm gonna wait for.
I'm an impatient son of a bitch. I want to have it. I want it now. I mean,
I am too. I mean, I'm very impatient.
I'm impatient, and you know when
FedEx knows I'm impatient. Dang it.
Well, I know. I seen those tweets, Paul. That was disgusting. I mean. I know that for me personally, like I want to have something in my hands. I want to be practicing. Like if this is all I can have right now, this is all I can have. And if this is all I can do, I'm going to use it and try to master it the best I can. Like I'll obsess over something. I'll get a new camera and I will sit there and obsess over every little detail until I understand its nuances and quirks inside and out. And then I go ahead and start using it. Like same thing when, you know, when we do a setup or we do our streams or whatever, we sit there and test every single aspect of something so that when we go live, we have the best possible experience for the audience. The same thing. Everybody should be doing the same thing while they're sitting there waiting for whatever, is really, really diving into the product they have and trying to master it. Try to master that product the best you can.
So let's hear about. I want to hear about your Twitter times. I'm
shit, man. So I don't know who to blame for this. I really don't know who to blame for this shit. I talked about it last week. We just touched on it, right? We just touched on it last week.
We
So
put the link in the description to try to
right, we
let
tried to get
Twitter
confirmation.
know, and I know I did it. Probably a bunch of other people out here did it.
So
Let's come over.
somehow, I don't know why this guy chose me. I don't even know who it is. I have thoughts. I have thoughts on who could be behind it, but I'm not 100% certain. But anyways, over the past couple of weeks, a Twitter account popped up with this same exact name, I mean, it was identical to my account.
It was hard to tell.
It was hard to tell the
unless you
difference.
knew that zero.
Right. And the only way you can really tell between me or that account is if you looked at the follower account, for one. And if you looked at the very first leading O, the O was a 0. But it's because he used the 0 that it could trick you. Like if you weren't paying attention, you'd look at that and you'd be like, wait a second, is that Dobo? But then you look at the account and you're like, oh shit, this isn't his. This is not his anything. Like right now, I looked at his Twitter and he's tweeting PNC Bank, all these obscenities. And I'm thinking to myself, well, fuck, I'm never going to be able to get an account with PNC Bank ever. It's just a shit show. And Twitter,
So the account's still active.
Yeah, and Twitter has not taken the account down.
I don't understand. Like
it's they haven't taken it down.
I mean, but okay, this is the interesting thing, right? You now have a copyright on your logo, right? Or you have a
so my logo, my branding is copywritten. Like if you try to use it, I'll fucking sue you, like type of thing. Like I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not going to if it's like somebody like, hey, I want to put your logo. We're doing a stream or whatever.
Right.
No. But if you try to like defame or slander, yeah, I'm going to fuck you up in the court of law.
And I mean, this guy took your logo and put it on the Twitter account, and
he was representing me.
And
my biggest fear with that is anytime stuff like that happens is one, who believes that? Do brands like DJI or even Autel for that matter, do they actually?
Because the only way they would really know is if they clicked on your account and saw the following account. Well, this guy doesn't have that much.
Yeah, so if they're not looking at that stuff, if they're not looking at that, then there's no way of really, knowing. So I mean, it's a touchy situation. I've sort of forgotten about it. I just blocked the account and inevitably it's going to get deleted. Like it's going to get to a point where Twitter's going to get tired of me contacting them every single day and they're going to have to do something about it. But what I realized is social media just sucks as a whole.
Have you been able to get a hold of any real person at Twitter?
That's the biggest problem. Like I see this shit happen all the time. Like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, fucking even YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube. It sucks. Like I see people's accounts get hacked where somebody will take their account and delete it. And it takes weeks for YouTube to be able to begin a restoration process of somebody's channel when that happens. Obviously, you can take safeguards to protect your account. Like I use Titan keys for fucking everything. Like every single account that I have it under a Titan key. So it's protected the best I possibly can. And I'm constantly, I change passwords probably 2 times a month. Fucking super complex passwords to always make sure I'm ahead of some dumbass that wants to do that. So it's just, you got to protect your account. You have to protect your account. And the larger a channel gets, the more of a target you become for this type of stuff. And I think a lot of people lose their shit because they click on a link or they don't read the emails and they click on this and they go down this hole and they download something that all of a sudden now captures all their passwords. I'm very skeptical. Even when people send me emails and shit, I forward it to you, I think. And I say, hey, look at this, see what you think. Does this look legit? So at least I have a benefit of having Paul. So Paul is my second set of eyes. So if I feel like something's fishy, I'll be like, hey, can you confirm this is not real? And then we can weed shit out. So it's, it's always doing that. See some new people join the chat. We got Sam Burns, Lon Denard joined. We've got, who else is in there? We got Fly Zone Drones.
Mike.
We got Mike on Box Warehouse, Capture Life Connection. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a touchy situation. Like I said, I have a feeling I know who it is or who's behind it, but I'm keeping names reserved as of right now.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Sam Burns, I would look at FPV Cycle for motors. I know they have a lot of good motors. I've seen guys putting, I can't remember the motor off the top of my head, but it's one of the FPV Cycles they put on the Apex 4-inch. I think that'd probably work. It's sort of weird. I would try to put a bigger motor on there if you're going to run like 6S or something like that. I like bigger stators, especially for those little guys. So that way, they can get that pop, but also have good throttle control. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, so there's that. It's very stressful dealing with that. I don't even want to think about that. I haven't made much content trying to deal with all that shit. And then we've been dealing with the print store. So trying to make sure that like every single order goes out as faster than normal. Right now we had, God, what was it? We were up to a 7-day wait at one point. That's how many orders there were. So we're finally just about caught up. I think there's like 4 or 5 orders we got to get out. So once I get those done, then I can start focusing on reviewing some of these products that we have sitting around here. So I definitely got to get going with that stuff.
Got a lot of products sitting over there?
As of right now, yeah, we've got some stuff that it's just been on the back burner. Some non-drone related stuff, some real estate stuff that I want to talk about. I'm starting to get into my busy season right now. Real estate is starting to get very busy. And people are starting to want to do videos more now, which is great. Because
the videos have been dead, just because they don't need to, right? Because there's just so much out there. The house sells in one day. Why waste money recording a video? And
the housing market right now in Florida is absurd. Like you can move from California and you can buy two 4-bedroom houses here in Florida for the price you'd buy in California. But to us, that's still high. Like, houses are selling super fast. Like I did a house this past week, 4-bedroom house, and they were selling it for $255,000 for a 4-bedroom house in a gated community. And it was a nice house. Geeksvana, welcome to the Brew Crew. That's crazy, but that house is not going to last long. Now they wanted a video on this house, and I was like, you really don't need a video on this house. It's a vacant home. But the agent wanted a video on it. And, they think that at that point, what will happen is you'll create a bidding war on a house versus if you just have photos, you really don't create a conversation around the house.
It's already a bidding war. No matter, at least in Orlando, it feels like they're purposefully pricing the houses too low to get people to be in a bidding war.
I think what's happening is too, what I've seen a lot of people do is there's a lot of cash offers on homes as of recent, where people are, it's hard to explain. It's so hard to explain. Maybe somebody can relate to this, where investment companies, they've realized, oh shit, these areas of which we can hide our taxes and our investments where we used to get taxed on, where we used to not have to pay taxes. Now, all of a sudden, we are paying taxes. So now people are buying up properties as a way to, one, get tax credits in certain states, but also hide, like, it's sort of almost like washing money in a sense. So you have a lot of cash deals on houses right now. I've never seen so many cash deals in my life. It is absolutely insane how many cash offers happen per day. It's crazy.
Insane.
But it's a good time. Like I said it, like, I think it was 2 years ago when I first started doing photography, is that now's the time to do it. If you were thinking about getting a drone and getting your 107 and getting a camera just to start out with real estate photography, you still have plenty of time to do it. Now's the time to do it because there are so many markets that are emerging where they don't have enough photographers. There's not enough videographers to keep up with the overall demand. It's the best time to do it. You can literally make your money back. And people say, well, how do I edit? How do I do this? Well, there's so many different plugins and applications that will create HDR images for you.
And plus, if you're that busy, if you get too busy, you're probably not going to want to edit your own stuff. And it's, there's plenty of sources out there to find people just drop the stuff too, and they'll make it look pretty for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, regardless, there is a way around things. So I would just, You know, John Zimmerman asked, do you ever think they will make the Part 107 test online? I don't know if they will. I think, for the recurrent test
For
is
the current
online.
test, it makes sense, but
Yeah, the recurrent test was pretty much easy to do. I think that it didn't take no time at all. But I don't know for the 107. I think if they do a 107 test, they would have to have some way to validate who's taking the test. Because if you think about it, like, would you want your pilots taking their test, like your airline pilot taking a test over the computer? You don't know who's actually taking that. Think about all the accidents that Malaysia and all these, other countries have that fly, internationally. They have a lot of accidents. They don't know how to fly. And it's because their pilots don't even take the test. Like, that's one thing I praise the FAA for, is that they really scrutinize the pilots that we have in the air, our airline pilots. So they hold them to a higher standard than anywhere else in the world, which for me, I think that's really impressive. And it makes me feel really good when I fly, even though this last time I was like shitting my pants, but yeah, it feels good.
yeah, that's one I think I gotta do with this month is take that dang 107.
You gotta do it. If you want to make money, like I said, if you want to make money in real estate, you just gotta do it. You gotta go take the test, because here's the deal. Like, if you're doing photos or you're doing video for an agent and you're taking aerial photos and that agent gets audited and they say, who did your photos? We need to see their license. That agent is going to face a $12,000 fine, a $12,000 fine for having an unlicensed aerial photographer. You, as the pilot, are going to receive like a slap on the wrist and some $100 fines. But the agents, they get fined from their board, the board of realtors, actually. It's not even like the FAA fining them. It's the board of realtors that fine them. One of my agents came to me the other day and they said, hey, do you have a license? We need to make a photocopy of it because we're getting audited from the board of realtors. They want to see, how we do the photos. They want to know about whether or not we're hiring licensed people. So I gave them a copy of my 107. I said, here you go. And I mean, that's crazy. But I also,
I got work lined up. I'm not doing it right now, especially since my wife's office. Yeah, I don't want to get anybody in trouble over there. So,
right,
or myself.
You don't want to get anybody in trouble. You want to make sure it's all legal. I mean, and the best way to do that is just take your test, and But here's the thing. So if you're like a lot of people too, they're like, oh, my 107 expired, back then. You don't have to go retake the test. You don't have to go into a facility. All you have to do is go online and do the recurrent.
The recurrent is online now. Right. It's great.
You've already taken the initial test, so just go get your go get your recurrent, and you're done. I mean, that's the inevitable truth of that. I mean, it's just easy. It's $11,000 for the agent and $1,000. So it's actually like $12,000 is what it was according to them. $12,000 and I think it said like $1,000 for the pilot. But the pilot gets fined from the FAA.
Right.
But here's the kicker. If the FAA goes back and says, well, let me go ahead and audit every single invoice that you've sent said agent.
Right. That'd be a lot of money.
They could say, okay, well, you didn't have your 107 and your 107, I don't know how they would do that. I mean, you could plead ignorance. I don't know how that would work, because it's not a situation in which you're putting anybody at harm. It's just something, it's one of those situations you can probably talk yourself out of. But if you've been doing it for years, you're probably screwed. Right. You could try to, claim ignorance. I don't know. I don't know how well that argument will work. It just depends.
The Philly rule.
It really depends. Yeah, you never know, man. You never know. The Philly rule I'm seeing. Hey, when in doubt, that's all you can try to do, I guess, at that point. I personally, like, it's sort of silly because you're just making a commercial pilot pay, and the rules, like most of the rules and the test have nothing to fucking do with the drone. Like nothing.
It doesn't. That's the part I'm struggling with. Like all the pilot stuff that you can't even fly 500 you can't fly 5 miles within an airport. So why in the world do you have to know where an airplane is landing from? And it's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense still why the test doesn't really pertain to drones, but it is what it is. We don't get a chance to, we don't get the ability to really have a say in that. Hopefully, eventually, one day, maybe that will change. Maybe they'll evaluate that and say, maybe we need to make this a little bit more linear to what these people are actually flying. Like, what are they actually doing? So, I mean, I just think that that needs to be fixed. Just in general, they need to fix that in general. It's really bad. But that's a story for another day, I guess. So. What are we at? We're at 9:39. It feels like we've been streaming forever, man. I don't get it. Like tonight,
Really?
we didn't have a guest. We didn't have a guest tonight. We didn't do a guest.
Your
Which
producer sucks.
Well, you know what it is. We had a lot going on. We took some days off. We took some days off from streaming. I'm trying to stream. Like I'm trying to get back to weekly streams. Like I want to make sure that we're back to a schedule. Weekly streams are the schedule. So weekly streams are definitely going to be the schedule. Like that's
we're gonna jump on that in the summertime. I think we're taking next week off, correct?
Next week, yeah, we're like shuffling stuff around. So next week we'll be off. We may be on. We may do a stream next week. It just all depends. Like certain things have to fall into place. Friday, I don't even know if we're gonna stream next week. It depends on Friday's announcement. So Friday we're gonna drop a video with an announcement, and we'll see how that lands. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm sure it's going to be like a torpedo through the hearts of all. It's going to be people are going to be like, "What the fuck, dude?" So,
I was just laughing at B-Mac. I'm sorry.
I did release a video today. So if you're a member, you can watch that video now. So a video hit the channel tonight. So members get the video first. And there you go. David Iglesias, $9.99 super chat. I'll spare you the casino sound and I'll read the question. The horizon is never leveled on my Evo 2 Pro. I've calibrated it endless times and reset it a few times. Have you had this problem or know how to fix it? Appreciate the response. All the best. So I have not encountered the tilted horizon on the Evo 2 Pro. I usually calibrate my gimbal, and then what I'll typically do is go into the settings. If it was ever off, like it was off kiltered, I would use the gimbal adjustments to calibrate it where it will be level. But what I have noticed is that the Evo 2 itself, it just has a slow gimbal. It's really slow to react. And sometimes when panning left to right, the gimbal would go off centered. So personally, I think it's a problem with firmware on certain versions. It could even be hardware related, but this has been a problem that Autel has had since the Evo 1. Like they've had shitty horizon issues the whole time. It's really annoying. So I see 808 State is here. Aloha, my friend.
Aloha.
He must have smelled Smart Controller. That's what it is. He smelled Smart Controller.
He smelled it. He wants it. He wants it bad.
Let's see. Brad, you know what? Let me open my comments here on this thing. It's probably easier to read too. Brad Henderson said, what does he say? He says, hey, would be curious to see a video about your everyday carry sometime regarding your drone setup and cameras. What's in your backpack? Just a thought. Yeah, I could do that. 808 stay with 808 super chat.
That's a clever super chat.
Yeah, he always does that. 808 super chat. Brad, I can probably do that. The problem is my everyday carry changes so much depending on what I'm doing. Like when I'm doing real estate, I put everything in a Peak Design bag, and that's my carry. But when I'm flying or just filming lately, I just put everything in my Ethics bag, and that's my carry. So I have two different bags. It just depends on what I'm doing. I guess I need to do an updated video on that. I haven't done one in a while, but I should probably do that because like I've changed.
Terry Warfield in the house.
Terry Warfield in the house. Got it. What does Terry say?
Tight shirt Terry.
Tight shirt Terry.
Peace Chiggy Race. Come on.
What does he say? What's Terry's hashtag? Up in here?
Fam.
No.
Hashtag fam.
Oh, it's up in here. Paul, you don't even know it, Paul. You don't even know it, Paul.
I watch his stuff.
He's done. Paul doesn't know it. Paul doesn't know it. All right, Paul, you can come back. Paul, you can come back.
Thanks, bro.
You're welcome.
I just got booted.
You're welcome. But you didn't know it though. It's up in here. It's hashtag up in here.
I guess
I
don't know.
I don't know because you don't watch the channel.
I watch his channel.
His
POV nighttime photography stuff is. I love it. I love watching.
Oh, he says we left up in here last year. Well, I guess.
I thought I was right. Hashtag fam, man. Look at this. Hashtag fam. I knew it. I've been doing it in like every video that I watch. Thank you.
All right, Paul. All right, you get one over me, and then you just think you're God. Okay.
It's like Paul. His hashtag is one time at camera camp. I mean,
dude, I'm so glad you're past that. Like, I'm so glad you've had more fun recently in your life. That camera camp.
I think a new hashtag now.
I mean, you know, this weekend's going to be one time at the water park. We're going to try to drown each other. I think. I can't wait. Hopefully, you ride rafts better than you do drones. I mean, Christ.
I am a little fat, but
I think we both are, Paul. We need to hit the gym.
And I wish you lived closer to me. That'd be awesome.
We would go each night.
Then I could look like tight shirt Terry. Yeah.
Don't do that again, Paul. Don't do that again. It's fine. Just don't fucking do that again, Paul. All right. Well, I think I've had, how many beers have you had, Paul?
Doctor's orders, man. I've had 0.
Doctor's orders. I got to go to the doctor. I had an appointment today, but I had to cancel it. So, just I couldn't
Paul doesn't need a new thumbnail. Paul needs a new
avatar. I got a new
avatar, whatever.
We took the photos. We did the photos that day at the park.
You gave me like 1 or 2. I don't know.
What do you mean you didn't like them, Paul? What the fuck do you want, dude? What do you want to look like, Paul?
I want to look like tight shirt Terry.
That's not going to happen ever, Paul. No, we don't have enough time, dude. Just stop it.
Got a new member.
What do we got? We got Jonathan Davis. Welcome to the BREW Crew.
I'd like to, I would like to know what kind of video. If you guys are in the chat, we got a lot of our devoted people. What kind of videos would you like to see on this channel? I'd like to hear it. I know we have a mixture of FPV flying.
Yeah.
I don't know, what kind of videos do you guys really like watching? I want to know.
All right, so we're taking a poll, Paul.
I'd love to hear a poll. I'd love to hear what people have to think.
We get some Terry with the hashtag 999.
Hashtag fam.
I feel like that was a slap in the face from Terry right there.
Not for me.
He just smacked me with the hashtag.
Everybody says they want to see more of me crashing your FPVs. That's never going to happen.
That was the most popular video in the past 3 weeks. Is you smacking? And some guy commented it today. He said it's funny how a 15-second crash turns into a 17-minute video. And I said, sometimes it'd be like that. Shit, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're running out of ideas for videos sometimes. Like, there's so much content you could do, so much I don't know. I don't like to sit there and do a lot of tutorials unless if the tutorial. Let me start this fucking over. I don't like to do a lot of tutorials unless if I'm going to get it.
Oh, he's just got booted off the channel. He doesn't like to do a lot of tutorials because he's drinking too much beer. Sorry.
This is a shit show, by the way. No, I like to do tutorials, but I don't have the patience sometimes. You ever I'll sit there and record, nobody knows this, but I leave a lot of outtakes in videos. But there's sometimes I'll be looking at the camera and be like, what you're going to do is you're going to grab this tone curve and I'll do it. And it's like, psh, and or I'll go to grab a LUT. I'll grab a LUT. Right. And I'll click the button. Sometimes on Windows, if you go to grab something on a folder, it'll open up whatever last folder you have.
Right.
And I open it up and it could be a dick pic or something. I don't know. I don't know.
People
we
are
don't
saying
know.
they want more V-copter.
It could be a surprise. You don't know. So then I'd be like, son of a bitch, got to start it all over. I'm messing with you, Paul. I don't know why it's.
People want more V-copter, man.
I did get an interesting message the other day from somebody trying to sell me a V-copter clone. They were trying to sell me a V-copter clone. I shit you not. It was a mini V-copter clone, and he's like, "Oh, you get a discount for 10 or more." I'm like, "Shit, you guys couldn't even ship the V-copter when it was the V-copter. I'm not buying 10 of anything." So
this is an interesting question.
What's that?
Is there a demand? This is from Shedword. He said, "Is there a demand for FPV indoor tours in real estate?"
I am. I will tell you, I'm against indoor FPV, and like, I piss people off when I say this, but I don't think FPV for real estate walkthroughs has a place. And I only say this because the sensors that you have to use are small. People will be like, "Oh, use a Shen drone squirt or with an insider or something." Fuck that. Who wants that risk? Like, you're never going to get the same quality as you can get with a gimbal and a full-size camera. Like, you're just not. And you can't get those nice little macro shots and showcase all the details. Now, if the house is big enough and it has like a huge foyer and you want to try to connect the shot, like come into the doorway and then connect up top and just skip the staircase altogether, okay, that could work. But then you're going to have a really hard time making the two footages match. That's the problem, because there's a huge quality gap from a GoPro to a full-size camera.
I mean, unless you have a bowling alley in the middle of your house, you're probably not going to want to use the FPV drone.
That's the thing. I mean, and those are cool videos. Those are cool videos for a business. For a business, I think FPV interior looks cool, not for real estate. Like, if you want to do a video promo for a brewery, for somebody, say it, Paul, for me. Say it for me.
A brewery.
There it is. If you want to do a video for that, or for a restaurant, or a bowling alley, or a movie theater, or whatever, a strip club, that's
strip
fine.
Club. Wow.
I swear to Christ, dude, some guy posted it in the Cinewooper group. He did a strip club walkthrough with the little beta FPV. It was amazing. It was amazing.
I can see it now, honey. I got to go to the strip club tonight. I got a gig. So yeah.
And this is why our female retention rate, Paul, is so low. It is so low. We are the worst on the internet. I am the worst on the internet when it comes to this. I apologize for my female audience, all three of you.
Lauren, sorry.
AHM, thank you so much for the $5 super chat SGD. I don't even know what that is, but we'll go with it. It's fucking great. Or just hit that deal. Ba-da-ba. So yeah, I don't know. A long-winded answer. That's that's just such a sensitive subject for me, is the damn walkthroughs like that. Lauren in oil. Ugh.
Lauren is a man?
Yeah, Lauren's a man. Lauren's a man, bro.
Sorry, man. I'm totally out of it.
Say something? Do I have to rewind and watch what you said? Lauren's a
no. You don't want to go back and watch that. What I said.
Paul, please tell me you did not say inappropriate about Lauren Dunner. Christ, Paul. Why? Why would you do that? Paul.
All I see is people in the chat saying they want to oil up Lauren. That's
no, fuck, don't. No. Lauren, don't let nobody oil you up. No, nobody wants to see that. Lauren has a hard enough time sitting in his chair now, and then you put oil in the chair, and he's gone. He's like in his late 50s. I'm being generous with the age, but he could break a hip possibly. That could happen. Oh shit, that just turned sideways. Damn it, Paul. Why do you do that? Oh, Lauren's gonna leave this video tonight and go start up an OnlyFans. No, nobody. Once you're here, like, people will say to me, they'll be like, I'm unsubscribing. I don't like that
you're a loser.
You use too much profanity. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, "You're fucking awesome. I love your content." And I'm like, "Didn't you just yell at me about cursing? And now you're cursing in the comments?" I don't know. Doesn't add up.
It all goes downhill when Terry gets into the.
That's it. Everything. All the shit escalated quickly. Paul, let's see. Paul, do we have that? Do we still have that video in here? Oh yeah, this is my favorite.
All right. See if I can catch up to Dobo. He's going pretty quickly.
This is good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love how confident Paul is. Come on, Paul, crash for me. Crash for me, Paul. I'm just gonna play this every time, Paul. Every time.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a lot. I'm a lot quicker learner than a one wheel on this thing for sure.
You're not a quick learner, Paul. You're not. And you could have slimmed this clip down to just your crash.
Don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. Try electric skateboard while filming. I don't know how these big YouTubers do this thing, man. It's just like it's nerve-wrracking.
Professionals, Paul. They are professionals, Paul.
Electric skateboarding. Where's Ken? Ken. Oh. Oh, he's back there. I'm too nervous to turn around. Here we go. Almost fell.
Probably look forward, Paul.
Probably.
Yeah, you should probably look forward, Paul.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Believe you drive a Honda Fit. Although
why is that surprising?
I don't know, Paul. Because you said you made you almost ate shit right here. You said that you wanted that to last 20 years. I haven't seen it last at all. Oh, here we go.
It's already on year 12.
Where'd he go? All the way down there. All right. Let's see how he does.
I swear, I could put that shit away, bring it out in a year. It's brand fucking new, Paul.
Yeah, I should cut that up a little bit more.
Oh God, dude! I swear to Christ, dude. When I still to this day cannot believe what I was seeing. I wish I had a camera.
I wish you had a GoPro on your head. That would have been hilarious.
Oh my God, dude, that would have been great.
So I'm still a little sore on my like thighs, my hips.
Well, when you use muscles that you've never used before, that's a good thing. That means you're growing those muscles, Paul.
I think it's because I was running so fast and my feet were just like hammering against that concrete, and then my shoe fell off. So then it was uneven. So like, yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, that was a shit show. I'm gonna have to mix that with this compilation of everything. I'm sure Paul will have more wonderful bloopers that I'll be able to share shortly. I mean, I'm just glad he didn't fall, because I mean, then he wouldn't be able to do the stream, and then I would have to hire somebody else. Like, who would I hire? I mean,
I don't know, man. That's
would I hire somebody with possibly a better internet connection and better camera, better white balance, better name? I don't know.
They have to be able to work for free.
Yeah, well, but they would have to have a job that could warrant them to work for free, and they would have to be available every Wednesday. Plus, know the content. I mean, there would be only one person I could hire. It'd have to be Eddie Nunez.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He could totally afford that. Yeah,
exactly. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a smug asshole, Paul.
I mean, I'm serious. I could be like cut next week. My time could be cut anytime.
No. People love you, Paul. They love the producer, Paul. They love the PP.
You starting to sound like my kid.
They love the PP, Paul. Oh shit.
This is definitely escalating quickly.
So it's 9:58, and I'll tell you this right here. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I have a guilty pleasure, and it is Handmaid's Tale. Okay.
Okay.
I like to watch Handmaid's Tale. Don't judge me, Paul. I don't want to hear you judge me. I'm really excited about this season. They left me with a cliffhanger. I would just love to watch the cliffhanger of Handmaid's Tale this evening while I sip on the remainder of my beer and get obliterated before work tomorrow. So I'm thinking that's what I want to do, Paul.
I've never even heard of Handmaid's Tale.
It's an amazing.
I don't know what
show,
it is.
Paul. It is an
I
amazing.
think I'm very
show.
thankful that I don't. I know
Christ,
that
it's an
Jeremy
amazing-
Sears. I was
it's an
watching his
amazing-
man channel, and he made fun of his wife for watching that on her. He's like, "Go watch that show on your own, woman." But
you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I will legitimately be okay with watching that.
you got you
Okay,
have a good enough man card. You can watch it.
I'm fine. I will watch that. Okay, I can do that, Paul. All right,
There's
so
no.
check it out. New videos dropping in the morning. Again, if you are a member, channel members get to see it early. Channel members get to see videos one day before. I'm going back to that. So tomorrow there will likely be another video that you can watch that will actually be releasing on Friday. So you'll get it. Channel members will get it one day early. Everybody else will get it on Friday. And there's that. So that's it. And we're going to be announcing something pretty huge. I feel like it's going to be the biggest announcement of the channel since the channel started. So
I'm a little worried.
are you?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good thing. So I'm pretty excited. I'm excited.
I hope you're doing the right thing.
I think so. I think it's going to be, I think it's time. It's time. So, all righty, guys. That's going to do it for this episode of Drone Brews. Tomorrow night, if I haven't told you already, it is the 200th episode of TNL. That's Thursday Night Live on Ken Herron's channel. Be sure to go over there and show him some love. 200 episodes is nothing to sneeze at. That is pretty impressive to have one of the longest, if not the longest standing live streaming show that has 70% to do with drones and
70%.
30% to do with buffoonery. I still think that's pretty impressive.
So where does that put us?
That puts us, we're the number 2.
No, for buffoonery.
We're number 1 in buffoonery and number 2 in the drone live stream. Number 2. With a consistent viewer base of 100 concurrent viewers, we're number 2. We're a solid number 2.
We appreciate all you.
Okay, so there's that. If you guys are looking for the custom prints that we're doing, www.originaldobostore.com. That will also sublink you to the OnlyFans website. So click on all the links and buy all the shit and pay.
Buy it all. Make him work hard.
There's that. All right, Paul. I'm gonna click the button. I'm gonna send us on our merry fucking way.
Right.
We did good tonight, Paul. Paul, you did good. I can't wait to hang out with you this weekend, Paul.
Oh man, it's gonna be so fun.
Such exciting times. The world
Plus,
is.
you're gonna meet my wife, which is could be kind of crazy. You're gonna go on any water? You're gonna go onto the water slides with my wife?
No, Paul. No, why would no? I don't do water slides, Paul.
You don't do water slides?
No, all right. So I'll be real. I don't do the I don't do these. You know?
Oh gosh, I hate the one with the straight
know what it
drop
is?
one. I'll never
So,
do that.
I told you this before. I'm claustrophobic. Like I started getting claustrophobia. Like I had a panic attack in the elevator the other day, and I don't know what's wrong with me lately. Anxiety is at an all-time high. But I don't do those. And when I was a kid, I actually got really hurt on one of those like really fast water slides. So I don't do that.
Wedgie of the butt. So
No,
much.
it wasn't a wedgie, dude. It wasn't a wedgie, dude. It was like, okay, so something blew up my ball sack, but that's fine. So anyways. Okay.
Fast and high. Fast and high.
Fast and high. All righty, my friends. Till next time, stay original.
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do? 'Cause I'm me cold in my tracks, yeah. Why don't you get up off of these high hypotheses? I'm not Socrates, I'm not trying to be cool. Yeah, yeah. got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do could stop me cold in my tracks, yeah.
Oh gosh, that
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do could stop me cold in my tracks, yeah. Why don't you get up off of these high hypotheses? I'm not Socrates, I'm not trying to be cool. Yeah, yeah. I think it's time to change the scene. Ditch the limousine, chicks and cellophane. I just came to see you. I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do could stop me cold in my tracks, yeah. Why don't you get up off of these high hypotheses? I'm not Socrates, I'm not trying to be cool. Yeah.
All right, that's it.
yeah,
We're out.
dude. If you actually were able to eat that microphone, that would be super impressive.
I don't think I could fit it all in my mouth, dude. I'd be terrible.
That's what she said, but yeah.
So we did good. We didn't have any interruptions tonight. Nobody hacked the stream. People were like, "Oh, how did you get into StreamYards last week? How did you do that?" I'm telling you, shit costs money. Got ways. Thank you for doing that, by the way, last week.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I didn't know you had the access to that like that.
Well,
You know, you do big things. You do big things, Paul.
yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, I have big things too.
Is that what you said?
Okay. Yeah. You know, you probably should be a little more prepared next week because I think tonight was a crap show, man.
Well, that's my
talking about
fault. Again,
Talking about a
That's on me.
like a remote
on me.
control for like 5 minutes. It was terrible.
That is on me. That is completely on me. I did a little bit. I didn't do any planning, Paul. I didn't do any planning. I'm just
next time I'm gonna fire you. You know.
Okay. Well, what I do usually on Wednesdays, I go to the liquor store. I buy the beer for the stream. We do a real quick run through. You didn't even get a guest, Paul. You didn't even have a guest on, Paul.
I thought you could handle it by yourself. I mean, you're the man of your original Dobo. I mean, you got
walk
the
around like
tattoo to prove it all.
No, that's not.
Now
That's
you're getting like mimicked by some stupid guy on Twitter. You know, you can't even like handle yourself.
Listen to me, you fucking FedEx slut. You're the one that argued. I just called you a FedEx.
You lost me with that.
Yeah,
You had to go there.
I went there. Shit.
FedEx slut.
FedEx slut.